All right, on the holster, so there's a few things that we might want to think about when we're working from a holster if you're relatively new, or even if you're seasoned. The efficiency of movement is, more important than being aggressive in terms of just trying to get the gun out of the holster. So when we are efficient with the movement, I look at it like this. The thing that needs our attention, the thing that needs to be shot at is going to be viewed. We're going to be seeing that. We're going to be looking at that. So the way I look at it in the respect of drawing the gun is we see the target, we're focused on the thing that needs to be shot. Then we draw the gun, and in sequence, what we're thinking about doing is prepping the trigger. We've already made the decision that the gun needs to come into action. So we think about it from target, trigger, and then the last thing we'll most likely see before we release the shot is the sights. Rather than getting overly fixated on the sights, target, trigger. In order for us to start to prep the trigger, we need to get the gun out of the holster. So target, holster, trigger, sights, in that order. All right, so drawing the gun on the buzzer, what you'll notice is I'm going to bring the support hand towards the center line, and it's ready to receive the firearm once we draw it out of the gun. When we look, or not even look, but at the beginning stages is a good idea to look to ensure that you got a good purchase on the gun. Once you do this, a few hundred times, you're not going to need to look at the holster. As we look and get a good purchase on the gun, we want the web of the hand to be as high up onto the beaver tail as we possibly can. And then when the muzzle clears the holster, we start to orient it towards the target that needs our attention, and the support hand is in a position to receive and begin to press the gun out. At this point, when we start to press the gun out, we're establishing that grip. We've already made the determination to fire the gun. We need to prep the trigger. So all together with a little bit of speed, target, holster, start to prep the trigger, and then right before we release the shot, the last thing you might see under stress, under duress, and speaking from experience, when you get shot at, the sights are nice to have, but to be honest, you may not even pick them up. All right, so target, holster, start to prep the trigger, find your sight, break the shot. Once we've followed through, once the shots have been released, or follow through, maintaining contact with the trigger finger and trigger, and this is our assessment. Did they hit? And if they didn't, we'll make it up. And if they did, at this point, we can start to relax our grip a little bit, trigger finger outside of the trigger guard, breathe, then to look at the holster if we needed to reholster the gun. All right, so one more time on the buzzer. So relaxed. See the target, confirm the hand is on the gun, orient the muzzle towards the target, start to prep the trigger, release the shot. As the follow through happens, what we want to think about doing is keeping the trigger finger on the trigger as the follow through is happening, because the reality is if it did not hit and it didn't work, we would follow it up. Once we're happy, everything was successful, trigger finger on the frame, and we look the holster.